Hello, my name is Paweł Słowikowski, and well, thank you for inviting me for the second year in a row. And this time, I would like to share with you a technique that I used on the retrospective in my teams, and hopefully, you'll be maybe you can use it also in your teams. Okay, so doing retrospectives. Usually, we do a couple of basic things that consist on performing a retrospective. So most of us follow this specific set of steps that we've discovered in the book called Agile Retrospectives. At least I did. So we set the stage, then we gather data, then we generate some insights, decide what to do with those insights, create some actions, and well, close the retrospective. So in my retrospectives, I found that there's a pattern in certain stage of development of the team. So how many of you actually use this kind of tool on retrospective and got those results more often than not? Okay, so not many of you, but actually, as you can see, there are not many things that make the team happy, and there are a lot of problems discovered by the team. Not many new ideas, and usually not many appreciations. So when it tends to repeat itself on and on during next sprints, maybe it's time to try something else. So obviously, what we do normally is to try to pinpoint the problems, the root cause of the problems that we have. So if the team manages to find out so many problems that they have with their work, so we try to dig in. As Wojtek mentioned in the morning session, we do some kind of analysis. We gather data. We do root cause analysis, and maybe using 5 whys, and then we create some kind of actions that we would like to address the problems with, and we of course try to create smart goals, smart actions, because we're good at facilitating retrospectives. And then suddenly we hit a wall. So it seems to me that more times than not we create actions that are actually outside of the team's control. So it doesn't happen all the time, but I don't know if you found this pattern, but during my experience, the team more and more during the retrospectives find out actions that are like bad customer, or crappy product backlog, or requirements are not good enough. And the actions that we developed were actually so difficult to introduce and to apply that we didn't see any progress in improvement, in improving ourselves. And I have a theory why is that. And in my theory, we spend so much time actually talking about problems and investigating those problems and keeping the team in the problem language, in the problem domain, that we actually forget that we need to also switch to the solution domain and to the solution language. And if you stay too long in the problem domain, then people get tired. So they get depressed. They have a feeling that really there's so many problems around, and we don't have any kind of influence to actually change it, change anything. That's everything is outside of our team, and there's the whole world is bad, and we're just trying to survive. They get tired. Their energy level falls down, and eventually you get some kind of ideas on the retrospectives, like complaints, and like fruitless discussions, what is wrong with our world and organization, and actually not the team is not ready to do anything about it. And then you get some kind of actions on the retrospective, like there's no 3.2% milk in the kitchen, or like the salad that we had last week was not very good, and that there's no warm water in the tank in the kitchen, and so on and so on. So those kind of problems that you get, instead of uh, keeping you on track on solving real issues, distract you, and the team tends to find some kind of uh, replacement problems to solve that they can actually influence. And this all happens because we dig too much into the problem domain. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. So sometimes we need to dig in and to find the root cause and so on. But from time to time, I dare you to change the approach. So instead of starting with the problem, start with ideas on what actually can be improved. And the tool that I used is actually borrowed from the HPI framework, which is human performance improvement framework, and it's called the Gilbert matrix, and it asks a question to individual in the team member. So what exactly do you need to improve your daily performance? It doesn't ask you what's your problem, what's wrong with your work, and what's stopping you, but what do you need to really improve to grow? And this is like switching to uh, another domain, the solution domain. And so how it looks like exactly? Uh, I've modified the Gilbert matrix a little bit, and this is how it looks like. A lot of text, I know. We won't go through all the details here. So basically there are like 6 areas that consist of information, like processes, rewards and recognition, knowledge and skills, capacity for growth, and motivation and motives. And what we did in our teams is I've gathered a team, and I've presented them with the matrix. And first of all, individual work. So basically the team members got the Gilbert matrix, and they put a weight on every area. So everyone had to decide which of the areas is the most important for them, which one of those areas would addressing which of the area would actually help to improve their performance. And then there was group work, so we created a group of people that have those common areas, and we asked them to actually find improvement actions. So we skipped the problem analysis. They did it anyway on their own in their groups, but we asked them to write down improvement actions for those areas that they discovered. And what they came up with were a couple of actions, a couple of ideas that were not actions still. And we did some kind of filtering. So basically, we pinpointed quick wins, and we pinpointed lovely ideas that will take some time to develop, to introduce. So we knew already which are the areas that or ideas that we can address immediately, which are the ideas that need some time or maybe additional meetings to discuss. And well, basically that was it. So we created actions, smart actions from the quick wins. We scheduled some additional meetings for the lovely ideas that needed some additional time. Example results, something like this. So a lot of actions created. Yes, they were sometimes like, if you ask about incentives and recognitions, rewards and so on, so there's danger about talking about money and pay rise and so on. But it's okay. I mean, not everyone will mark this area as their highest priority, so it's okay. And that's the second one. So I was surprised really by how many good positive actions, improvement actions were discovered and written down by the team themselves. So we jumped out of the problem domain and right into the solution domain. So instead of this negative thinking about the problem and what's stopping us and what's blocking us and we cannot do anything about it, we jump into positive creative process of creating improvements. And what you can do then with that, first of all, you can visualize it, make it transparent, keep track of the actions, and show results. So this will keep the team going, and seeing the results of the improvement actions will get them motivated to actually improve in the future. So it doesn't have to be all the time this way. Sometimes you have to analyze the problems deeper, but from time to time, just change the way you look at things and maybe allow the team to creatively jump into the solutions. Thank you.